Jumbo. Hi boys and girls, welcome to your last week of music. As you can see, this is going to be a combined video for lower L and upper L. So you can, if you have siblings on either side, you can all work together and do this video. In this video, we're going to be making instruments like we had talked about last week. So I have a few options for you guys, and if you have these things at home, feel free to make it. If you don't have the materials at home, then you can be creative, try to use something else. You don't necessarily need to use the exact items that I'm using, depending on the instrument, okay? But before we get to our instrument making, we have to talk about our last musical era, right? We've been talking about these for the past few weeks, and we've been studying all of them. So we have our last musical period to discuss today. Before we get to our last one, let's go over the ones we've already had. So we had the medieval period. We had the Renaissance period. We had the Baroque era. And remember, you can call them eras or periods. Either or is fine, just preference. The Classical era or period. And now we are at the Romantic era. The Romantic era was between 1820 and 1910. There are many famous composers that fall within this period. A lot of French composers, a lot of still German and Italian composers, a lot of major operas coming out at this time. Very dramatic music, not dramatic in the sense of oh my gosh, that's annoying, not like drama, but a lot of music that has a lot of movement in it, right? So we've always seen this addition to the music. So in a sense, if we want to describe the music, we can say it's very weighted. There's so much going on in the music at this point in the Romantic period. So we have composers like Wagner, we have Rachmaninoff, we have Stravinsky, Schumann, Schubert. One of the ones that we studied in the past was Camille Saint-Saëns. So for those of you that were, when did we do this? I think it was last year. So those of you that were with me in the spring of last year, we studied Carnival of the Animals. And it was one of our books that we listened to all the pieces in that orchestral work. And it had different animals, right? So one song in that piece of music, that larger piece of music, was the fossils. One was the elephants in the carnival. The other one was the sea creatures, right? So it had all the different animals, and you can kind of hear how they would try to mimic how you would feel that animal would be represented in music. So the composer that we are going to study this year from the Romantic period is Claude Debussy. And Debussy is a French composer as well, like Camille Saint-Saëns. So we're sticking with the French composers this time around again. And Debussy was born August 22nd, 1862. He died March 25th, 1918. He was born on, I put Paris, France, but he was born in a city on the outskirts of Paris. It's kind of like when you talk to someone and maybe you live in Lutz, or I live in Carrollwood, but you tell them you live in Tampa, right? You say I live in Tampa, Florida, but you don't necessarily live right in middle of Tampa, right? So that's kind of how Claude Debussy's location was known as. It's just this little quaint little town right outside of Paris. So what did he do? Debussy was a French composer of the Romantic era. He composed music largely for piano, but has many vocal, choral, and orchestral works as well. He began his musical journey around the age of 10 when his parents noticed his musical talent and enrolled him into a conservatory. As he grew up and began having jobs as a musician, he was known for rebelling against common musical practices. His personal life was a bit of a mess, but he poured everything into his compositions. He knew and worked with many other well-known composers at that time, such as Gabriel Fauré. Many considered Debussy an impressionist composer. So impressionist, kind of like when you study impressionism in art. I'm sure some of you, probably 4th and 5th grade, you guys have studied impressionism in art class. His music was loved by many, especially his works created in the middle time of his career. So he actually had the opportunity to be around a lot of different composers. There was this meeting that was held in France, and it had a bunch of different composers, local composers, which those composers ended up being pretty famous composers, which is kind of cool. It's kind of like a study group in a way. So this is Debussy, and you can see that our photo is like an actual photograph now. So we've gone from composers that just had like paintings done of them, and now we have like actual photographs, because now we're coming into more modern times, right? So he was born in 1862. So that was probably like later in the 1800s that photo was taken. So they actually had that capability. So Debussy, lots of beautiful music. Many of you, those of you that play piano, have probably played the piece that we're going to listen to today and do our stretches to. We are going to listen to Clair de Lune. And Clair de Lune is a super famous piano work by Debussy. He also has the work that really got him on the map was an orchestral piece that you guys can find online. Super popular. But I thought we'd listen to Clair de Lune. It's super pretty, and it helps us relax and stretch our muscles. All right, here we go. Okay. So super pretty, right? Super beautiful, peaceful music. I would definitely encourage you to listen to the whole thing. And if you do play piano and haven't played it, I would definitely recommend learning it. It's a really fun piece to play. All right, now moving on to some more fun stuff. All right, friends, you know Miss Lisa. You know she is not a crafter, but we're going to do some crafts. Now, for those of you that were in Lower L last year, you remember that we made maracas, right? We took, for Cinco de Mayo, we took leftover Easter eggs and we filled them up with rice, and we glued them, we duct taped them to a spoon, right? And we were listening to Coco. We had a super fun class that week. Super, super fun class. Now, I have bunches of options for you for things to do. We're going to start with our easiest option. Our easiest option is going to be a shaker. So, I bought, sorry, my eye itched. So, I bought pomegranate juice, a few weeks ago, and it comes in this like really cool bottle, right? It has like 2 spheres, and I put some rice in it. You see at the bottom, I put some rice. I didn't put a lot of rice. I mean, you can put as much as you want, but I also like wanted to eat the rice. So I didn't fill it up all the way to the top. So what I did was I washed it, right? I filled it up with some rice, and I can leave it like this as a shaker. Move it sideways. Super cool. What also I can do that will affect the sound is I had some of these like pipe cleaners, right? The ones that are metal and bendy. So what I can do to make it more of like a rain stick effect is add some barriers into the bottle to prevent the rice from moving as quickly. So remember, our rain stick at school has like actual cactus needles in the inside of it. So in the inside of our rain stick, the cactus needles prevent the seeds from moving as quickly, which is what creates that rain sound. Because if not, it would just obviously fall straight to the bottom of the rain stick. So what I'm doing is I'm twisting the pipe cleaners around my finger and making them all bendy, and I'm just sticking them inside my bottle, right? A little easier than it sounds. They like to stick together. So try to keep them separated. See how they like to start bending together? So I'll probably do like 3 more. I'll wrap them around my finger all together so we can go a little bit quicker. Right? So like that, and then I'll separate them. Okay, right. We're getting somewhere. Not too shabby. Let's put it in our bottle. Okay, so you get the point. I'm not going to stick all these in the bottle right now. Now you can move them around, and it kind of creates a little barrier, right? So it creates a little bit of a different sound. I would probably add more if you wanted to have more of that rain stick effect. You can also use a paper towel roll, or like the roll that comes inside once your parents finished using like aluminum foil. You can empty that out, and then you can stick the same like pipe cleaners inside of those, and you can create that rain stick effect. Or it also makes really cool decoration to have that on the inside. See how cool it looks? It's like silver. And I still have like a normal shaker. Then after that, you can go ahead and like decorate it however you want, right? So I have some Sharpies. So I can draw music notes. I can paint the bottle. I would probably suggest painting the bottle since it's so clear. I think it would probably work better to paint. But if you don't have paint that will stick on plastic, then Sharpie designs are totally acceptable and cool. See? I have my little swirly. Looks like my little Moana gem. So, super easy. Project number 1, shaker. Fun. All right, next pretty easy project is going to be, I think I'm going to go with, this is a hard decision. I'm trying to decide which one's probably going to be the easiest. I think let's go with a little banjo. So what I have here is a lid from pasta sauce, like marinara sauce, you know, like when you buy the red sauce or like Alfredo sauce to make pasta at home, or any kind of jar lid, right? Like from jelly or anything like that. So I have a lid. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I don't have a thick popsicle stick. It would work better with a thick popsicle stick, but you can use a thin one. I have like a little thin stick. I'm going to tape this popsicle stick to the top of the lid, okay? So tape that down. I'm using regular tape because that's what I have, but if you have duct tape, I would recommend using duct tape for all these things because it'll hold better. Now what I'm going to do is take rubber bands and I am going to put the rubber band on the lid. As you can see, my rubber band's a little big for my lid. So I'm going to pull down on my rubber band. I'm going to twist it and then put it on the other side. Put it back on my lid, right? It's kind of like putting on a ponytail for my girls or my boys with long hair. You know how to do this. So it's like putting on a ponytail holder. So any of my boys and girls with long hair, you know how to do this, right? So then I have two sides, right? So I have one rubber band. Now I'm going to take a second rubber band, go to the other side, I pull down, I twist, and then I'm going to put it on here again. And now, guys, I have a little banjo. Look how cute. Boom, 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 boom. Ah, adorable. Look at the little banjo. How much fun is that? Super fun. So, banjo, project number 2. Very cool. Next project. Let's go with the drum. I'm going to go with the drum. Now, I have options. I have a can, kind of like, this one's a tea can, but if you have coffee cans from your parents, you can use that. I also have a jar. This is the jar that the sauce lid came out of. So I saved the jar. You can also use the jar for the shaker if you want. But what I'm going to do is I have a balloon. I had a leftover balloon from a friend's party, right? Unused. I'm going to take my scissors. Please do this under parental supervision. I'm going to take my scissors and I am going to cut the long part of my balloon like that. See, I cut it. So this long part of the balloon is gone. Now I take this circle part of my balloon and I'm going to put it, hold on. I think I need to cut some more. You may need to cut some more depending on the size of your lid, right? I have like pretty big lids here. So I think I'm going to cut a little bit more because it's a little too tight. Guys, I'm doing these projects for the first time with you, so we'll see what happens. Okay. So now, I have a cover on my jar, right? So I kind of have a drum. Now to make sure this stays in place, this one's a little like, this balloon's a little big for this jar. Let's try it on the other one because I don't want to cut too much before using it. Let's try this one. Oh my gosh, oh, this is, okay, this is working. Nope. Bear with me. You may need a sibling or a parent to help you hold one side because it's a little difficult right now. Oh my goodness gracious. Don't you miss Miss Lisa's shenanigans in class? Let's try this. All right, I got this, guys. I got it. Yes. Okay. Important. Notice. As soon as you get it over the lid, have someone tape it for you. I don't think I have enough hands. Let's see. All right, here. Ah. Okay, I'm going to tape one side. Let's just be smart about this. Let me be smart about this. I'm going to tape one side. that's probably very helpful. So if you were on your own, try to get one side taped down and then keep trying to tape. As soon as you can get another side down, keep trying to like tape them. This one can be a little challenging. And honestly, if it is still being an issue, just cut more of the balloon off. Okay, now we're cooking. Now we're cooking, friends. Look at that. Y'all, we made a drum. Look how fun that is. So, see, I cut the balloon, right? The long part first, and then it was still a little too tight. So I cut a little bit more off. So I ended up cutting twice, but go like a little bit at a time after you cut the long part, because it just depends on the size of your canister, okay? But now I have a drum, and I can go ahead and paint this afterwards, or I can cover it with construction paper. I can put stickers on it. I can decorate it however I want, right? So super fun, super cool. You can use your Sharpies to play it. Very fun. Project number 3, hand drum. Project number 4. Also, remember project number 3, you can use the jar, but I use the canister instead. The canister is a little bit wider. It's easier for my hands to play. Project number 4. We have a shoebox. With my shoebox, I cut a hole. So I got some new sneakers and I decided to keep my box for our project. So what I did was I drew a circle on my shoebox, and then you will ask a parent to get a box cutter. Your parent, disclaimer, your parent or trusted adult will use the box cutter to cut the hole for you, right? So I taped, because you know how shoebox obviously opens. So I taped the side that would originally open. And now what I'm going to do is, this is basically like a bigger version of our tiny banjo, right? So we have our tiny banjo, and we're going to make like a make home ukulele guitar thing. So I found this stick in my house, and I'm going to use it as like the neck of my guitar. So I'm going to tape this to the back of my box. Keep in mind that if you're wanting to like decorate your box, I would probably paint your box before you put the stick on. I mean, you don't have to, but I would recommend it. That's just my personal preference. So take my stick. Right. Take my stick. Ha ha ha. Now, after I do that, this is a little tricky for me. I did not have rubber bands large enough to go around this box. Now, your feet are tinier than mine because you are smaller than me. So you should be able to get big rubber bands that would fit around a shorter box. So I would recommend, if you're going to do this, use your shoebox. Don't use your parents' shoebox, because you may not have rubber bands large enough for your parents' shoe boxes, right? So I'm going to take this off real quick to give you an example, taking it off our banjo. So what you would do, you would take the bigger rubber band around your shoebox, you would open it, and you would go from the top all the way to the bottom, and it would cross this center opening like that. right? So that when you play it, it would create music. And I would do like 4 or 5 rubber bands on here, okay? So that is an example. If you have those larger rubber bands lying around the house. I personally did not, but I can order some. So maybe I'll order some so I can fix my shoebox guitar. Let me put my rubber bands back on my teeny banjo. Now, project number 5 is an African singing drum. So these are actually really cool. They're not singing drum. What am I talking about? An African thumb piano. I'm still stuck on our drum. I really like this project. This one was fun. So an African thumb piano. I haven't showed it to you guys before, but some of you may have seen them online. So an African thumb piano is made out of wood, and it's usually like rounded at the bottom. So it kind of looks like a bowl. And then there's a hole in the middle, like a guitar or a ukulele. And it has these little like needles that you press down on your thumbs, and they make different noise, different pitch, like our xylophone, right? So they make pitch, they create pitch that way, but it sounds a little bit different because of the material it's made out of. So the way you can make an at-home African thumb piano is by taking a box. I took a tea box, right? And I cut a hole in it. I taped the top shut. The bottom of my box was a little bit stronger, so I used the bottom of the box. I made a circle, again, with parent supervision. Ask a parent to do this for you. After you make the circle, have your parent or adult supervisor cut the hole in the middle for you. I took that out. See how it's empty? Then I took bobby pins. If you have like anyone in the house that has bobby pins, right? These are bobby pins that go in your hair. I wouldn't suggest using a paper clip because it's going to be too long and it's going to have a sharp end that might cut you. You want to use a bobby pin because see how it has like this little covering right here? So that helps not like hurt you when you're playing it. So what you're going to do is you're going to open the bobby pin like so. And see how it stays open because it's metal? So I bent it open. I'm not just opening it, like I'm actually like bending it open so that it stays open. So I take that like flatness out of it. I open it up, make sure it stays like that. Then you're going to tape this to the opening like so. You're going to tape it to the opening. You're going to have some of it hanging off the bottom, right? You see how it's hanging into our circle, and I put tape all around here, and that's the top part, so I can play it like this. So it's just a lot of fun to play with. And I tape them all, and then afterwards you can like paint the box. It's super cool. It doesn't sound as great as an actual like thumb piano, but pretty neat. All right, last but not least, we have a straw recorder. So it's kind of like a pan flute, I would say. You know how pan flute has like all the different pipes together? So I took these thicker like smoothie straws, and with these smoothie straws, I taped them together with like regular tape. But of course, like I was saying, if you have duct tape or anything that's a little bit stronger, that works too. I also like the clear tape just because I can still see the colors of my straws. And then I made these lines on there so that I know that I'm going to be cutting at an angle, right? I'm cutting at an angle so that I have a short one. So it goes from short to long. So all of them are going to be different lengths. So I'm going from shortest to longest this way. So I made like an angled line. Now, with your scissors, with parental supervision, you are going to cut across that line. Granted, I have not done this yet, so we'll see how it goes. All right, so I'm going to cut my purple, my yellow, Oh, I taped that side. Miss Lisa, honestly. Okay, so don't tape the side that you're cutting like I did. That makes it a little more difficult. All right, look, there we go. Okay, I'm gonna add some more tape because I don't feel like it's secure on the back since I cut off the tape. Okay. Guys, look how cool. Let's see if it actually works. Did you hear that? Look, it goes from high to low. Listen. This is awesome. Wow, I think this one's, oh gosh, I don't know. I'm having a hard time between my favorites. I think my favorites are these three. I really like the little banjo. Really love my drum, but I really like this like pan flute recorder thing. Super cool. All right, guys, so we have like, that was what, 1, 2, that was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 projects that you could do at home. They're super fun. You can basically like make your own band at home. Let me show you from the beginning again. We had our shaker. We have our teeny banjo. We have our drum. We have our guitar, which you would put your rubber bands on, right? And play with your rubber bands. We have our thumb piano. Very cool. And we have our little recorder. Super fun. All right, guys. Well, I hope that you have enjoyed our instrument making class. So a bunch of different options for you guys. If you have any questions, please have your parents reach out to me. If you need some more specific directions, I can totally get those to you, okay? All right, well, I miss you guys so much. I'm gonna record one more video for this week, and it's gonna have a song that Upper L is learning. So it's just gonna be like a super short, like 10-minute video for you guys to learn a song for the end of the year. Upper Elementary had this song last week. It's called Chicken on a Fence Post, and it has to do with some concepts that they're learning. So it'll be super fun for you guys to just sing for now, and then we can talk about it when we get back to school next year. I miss you all so much. Hopefully I will see you when you come pick up your stuff at school. So I hope, if I don't see you, I hope you have an amazing summer and have fun with these instruments and keep musicking. All right, bye guys.